recorded, drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, vintage friends on my face, looking like I'm from the deep. These no Cartiers, pockets deep, 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 bro. I can make it in my seat, bro. Do you, I'm doing me, bro. Making noise, use a beat, bro. Whoa, I press the button and the doors go off like, whoa. That money clip us now, the new now looks like, whoa. Upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like, whoa, 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 whoa. Neighborhood on the scene, neighborhood on the strip, neighborhood be the name, neighborhood no crib, neighborhood that's me, neighborhood that's Nick, neighborhood do the dance, neighborhood do the dip. Okay, thought I'd never make it like no way. I'm the real deal, no
DIY video for the Dooley, OBS Dooley. OBS is the old body style. You guys don't know. MBS is the new body style. 99 to 06, 88 to say late 99, maybe 98, depending on which truck it is, or depending on what truck it is. That would be the OBS name that you hear around. If you guys don't know, I got some comments with social media and marketplace. I am on marketplace as well, since I buy vehicles for my projects. A lot of times I have parts that are left over, and so I go ahead and sell those to people that need them. Put those on marketplace. But anyways, this is a DIY video, and this is for, now this truck is a 3500. This is for the power steering hose. So it's just going to be a quick video for anyone that needs help for this hose, or would be the issue or the problem, or if they ran into it. So this is just a quick DIY video. There's 3 hoses on this. So the one I'm going to be changing, it's the one back here. It runs to the Hydro Boost. This is the Hydro Boost system, since it's a 3500. So it runs back here, and it has a particular shape on it, so it runs down here, runs down here, and then it loops towards right here in the front, right here, runs all the way down to this partial rubber hose. So then it has the factory fitting here, and this is a rubber hose, so it leaked. I tried to Mickey Mouse just to keep the fluid in until I can get a new one, but that didn't work. Still just got through. But anyways, I tried. It's a high pressure hose. Runs down, goes all the way down into the passenger side of the gearbox down here, as you can see. So it should be a simple fix. Unbolt it, put it in, make sure that your power steering is make sure that it doesn't need to be bleeded or anything. But since it's a power steering hose, I doubt that it needs any bleeding. It's not part. It's part of the brake system, but it shouldn't have any problems. But if anything, I'll have to bleed the system. But yeah, this is just a quick video since I purchased it. I don't know if you consider it an unboxing, but so this is from AutoZone, and this is from AutoZone. Let me see, give me a minute to put this down. So this one has a particular shape. It has this hook right here, so you can tell the difference from the other two. And this part number if you go to AutoZone, it's the 92006. It's on the bag too as well. Just right there. Okay, so like I said, there's 3 of these hoses. So this video is to help anyone that has the leak here in this section. So my old one has a leak right in here. When it got in an accident, I went to the junkyard and purchased a bunch of parts, and this was one of the parts that came onto the, it was connected to the power steering pump. So the power steering pump, I believe that was the original. Yeah, that's the original power steering. I don't remember. I think I replaced it with a used one, possibility, because when I got hit, it did damage some of the parts here. And it's been a while. It's been like probably about a year or two, maybe a year and a half when I did it. So to keep costs down, I went to the junkyard and purchased some stuff, basically just to get it back to stock. And I'm still not running the 454 radiator. I'm actually running this is out of a 99 to 06 radiator. So if you guys are curious about how that worked on an OBS, so I believe that's the steam port. It goes. So the overflow, this hose runs from the bottom down here all the way to the front. So instead of mounting it on the top up here on the OBS, it runs midpoint down here on this one right here. So, and that's for the overflow. And I mean, this is a lot more. I think this overflow bottle is better than the one that's from the 9906. That one's just big and bulky, and that one's mounted on the 9906 somewhere around here or here. And I didn't want to go through all that just to change the radiator. So, but this radiator did work. This is 9906 radiator from the new body style. And as you can see, it's thinner, but actually, even though it's thinner, my truck runs cool. It runs a lot cooler than the 454 radiator so far, but I haven't ran it in the really hot weather. Keep in mind this is a 454, so it does take a lot of gas. I basically just use this truck to do jobs or move something, or load it, something big in the back, engine, transmissions. Basically just use it as a truck for what it's meant for, but basically just keeping it stock for now. So yeah, this radiator did work. If you guys are interested, I mean, I know this video is not about the radiator, but just to get an idea. Since the last video I had was an OBS, and that video was for the 350 radiator if it'll work with the NBS new body style. Yeah, so anyways, I'm going to go ahead and do the work. All right, guys, here, this is what we got here. So I got this open end wrench, which is the for the pipes for your brake lines, also for anything that has to do with these type of fittings on these lines. So the upper one is going to take the 5/8, so there's a 5/8 up here, and then the 11/16. It's a little tight, but it's snug. That's what you want. And so these are made. Now, I know there's guys out there that they know what they're talking about, know what they're doing. So I'm keeping this very simple. because any of my followers that don't know anything about mechanics or don't even know how to work on a car or change a tire, just a basic stuff, this is what you're going to need, something like this. And the reason why is because these go around these lines, so you can get to the bolts. Not particularly this one, but right here. Now, in some cases, like on mine, it's a very tight spot to get. Now they have these other ones that are shaped like a C, and they have an adapter where you can put a, well, since I'm keeping it simple, basically let's see, explain it to you guys. Let me see if I have one here. It's better to show you guys. Here we go. So this is a 5/8. There's also these. So these do the same thing. They go around the hose, and you use an adapter for that. Yeah, bear with me, I know I got a mess. Here we go. So it goes in like that. You put your ratchet on there, or your power tool. With this, basically is not going to need much, because this is basically just gonna loosen that bolt. And that's basically all you need this for, because most of the things are in tight spots. So I can see it right here. I want to get in there so you guys can see, because it's very hard to do, and that's why sometimes people don't record stuff, because it just takes so much time to try to explain and do things there. But that's what I'm trying to do on this channel. So this will go in there like that and hook that in there, and you're basically, what you need to do is just crack that open. That's all you need to do for that. From that point, you don't need this tool anymore. You can get it with your hand and loosen the bolt with your fingers and get that out. If you need a little bit more, try to turn a little bit more. But basically, it's just to crack that open and get that bolt started, where you can take it out. And then when you fit it in, you're going to want to fit it in slowly and get it in with your hands, because you want to feel the threads go inside, because you don't want to get the threads cross-threaded. You're going to cross-thread it. This is no longer any good, and the Hydro Boost is no longer any good. That goes with anything. You start the threads wrong, you're going to damage it internally, and then you're going to have to rethread it or replace the part. So keep that in mind on anything that you do when you're putting in bolts. You don't need a power tool for that. Basically, mechanic, just your mechanic tools, like this, your basic tools. Okay. And that was a 5/8 on the top of that. Was it power steering line? Yeah, power steering line. So that's going to be the 5/8, and then it's going to be the 11/16 again toward the bottom down here. So now it'd probably be easier if I would have used this one, but I managed to use this one. You know, it was a little difficult because, let me show you guys. From where it's at, you don't have, like, I don't have a lot of room. See my hand, and then the engine, and I got the engine right in the way, so my hand's like right here, and I got all these hoses, so there's not really a lot of room to get in there. But basically, like I said, the idea is, don't think about, oh, I can't get the tool in there. What you need to do is you just need to break that loose. So got that in there, and I could not get it to push down because I have no leverage, and my hand is only pushing it down, and at this where I'm at, I don't have enough leverage to push down on this tool. Now, like I said, keep in mind this is tight to get that tool on there, that 11/16 to get it in there, and that's because this is worn out, and since it's worn out, it's been used before and it doesn't fit correctly. So what I did is I put that on there like I'm showing you, and there's best as possible start getting it on there, and then with my other hand I use this breaker bar. You can use a bar, whatever you need to do, try to make it work. So I held on to the open end ratchet right there. I hold down to the tool, and then I push down right at this point and push down on with my other hand and balanced it with my other hand here and pushed it down until it worked its way down, so where the tool was tight and it was going to give more of a bite, and then I turned it and cracked it open. So that's what I did. I know it seems very basic, like, oh duh, you know, anybody can do that, but someone that doesn't know or is challenging or it just has a hard time, this is why I'm explaining to you. So then I went with a crescent wrench and just made sure that it was loose enough, find the size, and then I could make sure that it was going to open, and it did, you know, because like I said, my stomach is laying on top of the truck. My ribs are here, my stomach is right here, trying to reach over. This is a high, not a very high truck, but it's high enough where it's above my ribs, so I'm leaning over and trying to reach to get to work that, and after a while that starts to hurt your stomach. But anyways, just to explain to you guys how I got that loose, and then so now from here I can just loosen it by hand, and I believe there's a plug. I'm gonna set you down, give me a minute. So there's a plug that comes in the bag, 2 washers with that power steering line, and I believe the plug is to plug that gearbox possibly, or it's to plug the hydro boost. So they gave you this. If you need it, use it. You know, it's just to plug so the fluid won't come out. I don't think I need it, but anyways, they do have that. And it comes with 2 of the washers. Well, not washers, but the O-rings. They'll go on the fitting around there, just like that. Okay, so it comes with 2 new ones. But give me a minute. I can't do this with 2 hands because I have the GoPro and I have no one to record. So this is all basically doing this by myself. So I have no one to sit here and record it while I'm moving this up. But well, you know what? Let's just try doing. I'm not sure this is going to leak. It should leak. All kind of pressure is on here. Okay. It's leaking, but that's okay. It's on the very top. As long as it's not pouring out. That's good. Now this one down here might pour out. still a little too tight. Oh, wait a minute. I think I was grabbing the wrong one. Yeah, it was. Nope. A little more. Sometimes, even though you loosen it, you need to use a tool sometimes just a little bit more because your fingers just don't have the strength to do it. Doesn't mean you're not strong, it just means that it's just hard to grab onto. It's metal you're grabbing onto. Sometimes they get boogered up. So the threads are probably boogered up and got some garbage in them, so it's harder for it to get loose. And so you got to use still the tool to where it gets a lot looser, and then you can do it by hand. Yeah, it's being stubborn. It's all right though. She's going. See, just work. There's really no easy. I mean, there might be a easier tool to get in there and zip it out, but I don't think so. This is just basically, this is where you got to do the work. Your hands get beat up and scratched. You don't want your hands getting all beat up and scratched. Use some gloves. I use both. Like sometimes I don't use them, sometimes I use them. Okay, so it came loose. Okay, this one's gonna leak. Okay, so that plug. Use that plug. Plug's not even big enough. Okay, let's just put it back in. She's gonna pour out. Okay, put it back in. It's gonna bleed out because that's what we're dealing with. All the fluid that's in the power steering is gonna leak out of there. So it's already got it loose. Let's go ahead and take it out. Got all these hoses in the way, so I want to just come in. Oh, she's just leaking crazy. Yep, she's dripping all over the floor. new one in there. Give me a minute, guys. Okay, guys. Whew, struggling with this thing. So this is the original one, and this one hooks a little bit more than the new one that I purchased. And I was thinking it's probably the wrong one. They made this one this hook right here is a little more shorter than that one. That was more like a round hook, but keep in mind that was out of the original truck, and that one was out of a 93, and this truck is a 1996. So that hose was the original hose from the 93 Dooley, and I'm not sure, it's probably the manufacturer, or I don't know, maybe I got the wrong one, I'm not sure, but I mean it's very close, but I was able to make it work. I'm hoping this is the right one. It does work. It was because the gearbox, it wouldn't go around the gearbox. You have to get this side in first before you start the top one here. So what I had to do was kind of work it where it was possibly going to be. So I had to sit it right here and get all these things are a distraction. All these things are getting in my way. All these other hoses, all this is in the way. So to get this metal line in here, you got to kind of twist it and move it around and try to make it work to go into its place. So don't start with the top one, start with the bottom one, and then get this part of it on this other side of the gearbox. So it's going to go down like this. So the one that I have, the older one, it loops down further past the gearbox and then hooks in and goes into this spot. This loop is shorter. So what I had to do is I had to pull this line and then pull the metal line, and basically make sure that it was pushing towards the ground that way, so that it won't hook onto this. It's just basically going to be laying on the other side of it, and then push in the pipe first, pull this nut away from it. So let me show you from up here. So pull it like this, where the neck is like that, and then put it in its place, and then start working your thread. And then also to keep in mind, work the thread slowly and make sure that it's going to go in. Since this is way down there, I had a little bit of a difficult time to keep because of the it's moving, and it needs to go straight in. So basically I put this in, so I had to push that in and keep it tight, and then several times I had to work the thread. It didn't want to go through, and then so I just clean it out, like keep cleaning the threads, try to clean the thread inside the gearbox. The gearbox has fluid inside, so it might keep pouring out, so it's a messy job. So finally I got it where it needed to be. It was lined up, because since it's at an angle, I'm standing looking down at it, so to me I can't tell if it's straight or not. And so I keep working threads, and then the first time I went in, it didn't go correctly. I pull it back out, try it again, finally got it to where it felt like it was going in correctly, and then went ahead and proceeded to tighten it up. Work this side first, then do the top part. And that's just my not my idea, but basically excuse me guys, basically my question, or my answer for you guys. Basically my answer for you guys, if you run into this, start with this first, so you don't have to deal with trying to fight it from down there, because it's a lot difficult. Just leave it loose on the top, work the bottom first, and then work the top. So that's my idea on trying to get this back in there. So like I said, this is not for the guys that know, this is for the people that don't know or have no idea. And I'm just getting more into detail because on YouTube I see a lot of videos, they don't put a lot of details and the problems that go through. I sound like I'm out of breath. I'm just talking fast. It's the coffee kicking in, and laying over this thing, it's not comfortable. It's just killing my stomach trying to lay over because this truck is pretty tall. And so to lay over this and keep playing with that hose, I finally got it. I had to stop the video because I had both hands. I could not do it with two, and then this fluid was just pouring out like crazy. So I had to stop and go ahead and figure out what I had to do so I can explain it to you guys. So now this one here, I'm gonna put that one in that hole and do, like I said, push that in there, and then get that line fitted, push that line in there, make sure it's tight and it's lined up, and then start the threading on there, and then it should be good. And I didn't need any Teflon, any Teflon liquid or anything like that for the threads. It basically went there. It's got the O-ring on the inside there, right in here. It's got the O-ring here. That's what keeps the fluid in. But yeah, I'll get back to you. Oh, give me a minute. I'll show you the aftermath. Just give me a minute. Get you guys on pause. There you guys. There you go. You see there? There's the new line. It'll tighten up. Back into place. I had to stop. I need both hands to get that back on. I was being stubborn. But there you go. I mean, sometimes you have good ones, sometimes you don't. That line, that far back line, this line has to go past that gearbox. So that gearbox needs to go over that. So put this one on first, and then put that one on last. There you go. It's a quick DIY video. If you guys like these videos, I'm basically gonna do more of these videos. Comment, like, and subscribe. Please share with your friends. Alright, talk to you later. Bye.